Hi, I'm Chris. Welcome to Logical A Meets World, and welcome to part 2 of Autism and Interoception. When it comes to the interoceptive system, as we talked in the first video, it has a lot to do with things like movement, when we're hungry, when we're in pain, we can tell that our heart is beating fast or whether it is beating slow. Other types of sensations, such as how much force to use when we're holding a ball or when we're shaking hands. So just as in the first video, I introduced you to several new terms, I'm going to introduce you to another new term in this video, and that term is insular cortex. So for those unfamiliar, and I was before I dug into this, the insular cortex is a part of the brain where for most people, it's very thick, there's a lot of gray matter there, and there is a lot of activity that is happening in that area of the brain. For autistic people, there is less activity. It is a much thinner area of the brain, and it has a lot less gray matter in that area. Now, with this lowered awareness in the insular cortex, this is where people with autism will run into things like sensations of when it's time to use the toilet, whether skin is hot and cold, when the body tells us that it needs nourishment, that we need to eat, but also things like the ability to be flexible in our thinking, problem solving, knowing and understanding when we need help, social understanding in social environments. And there are also times where people with autism have almost no sense of awareness if there is danger to them or if they're in an environment that presents a danger to their life. So what I've gone over are some things that are very general. This doesn't just happen with autistic people. There are other neurological disorders where inception is prevalent. This channel is on autism, so I'm not covering those in this video. I am leaving links so that those who are neurodiverse or those curious about interoception and its impact on the body can go in. You can use the links and learn more. I try to keep the videos not extremely long, and that is because I have a real habit of focusing and over to a point where I would go through and introduce you to all of the very technical inner workings of the human body, and therefore probably lose part of the audience that this is intended for, which the audience is intended for is everyone. These videos and actually starting this channel have helped me to kind of try to work on curtailing and using what most people understand as wrap it up. So moving forward, for me personally, hot and cold are a very big issue. I wear my hair down all year long. You'll very rarely see it in a ponytail. And a lot of people say, well, isn't your neck hot? And honestly, I wouldn't know unless I took a moment to actually feel my neck. Other things for me are if I get too focused on something, which doesn't happen nearly as often due to a lot of kind of hybrid therapy, things that my wife and I have really kind of put together to help me in this manner. There are times where I would hyper-focus to a point where I would miss a day's worth of meals. I wouldn't hydrate properly. When I focus too hard, I lose my auditory sensation in that I can't hear. Now, for a lot of you, probably you might think that this might be something useful every once in a while, and trust me, you would be wrong. We have a variety of things that don't rely on sound in order to help me not do this so much. Another thing is that if I'm out doing something, or I'm playing a board game or doing something with my wife, a lot of times she'll say, is this fun? Are you having a good time? And most of the time, I have no actual answer on whether it is fun, whether I am having a good time. I rarely smile, but that doesn't mean I'm not happy. The outward expression just isn't there most of the time. Now, don't get me wrong, but I do like people. However, I can go long stretches of time without seeing another human being, and I have zero inclination or longing for any humans to come along. Being married, this was one that was extremely challenging to start to get past. Still not where I'd like to be with it, but again, every day I just try to get a little better with it. But knowing and trying to keep, be mindful about knowing that she's here and that she may want me to come in and spend time with her and do things with her. It's a challenge, but it's one that we are making some pretty good progress on. So this is going to conclude part 2 of autism and interoception. I greatly appreciate everyone taking the time out of their busy day to stop by the channel and watch the videos. If this topic has been of interest, please give it a like. If you do like the topic and are interested in the subject matter and how life is for autistic people, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell so that you'll be notified of the next video, which I didn't say in part 1. And that is something that I might, which I don't normally do. Well, I've started doing these little intros, but I may have to do an outro for that. I don't know yet. I may or may not. Anyway, I do thank you again for taking time to stop by the channel, and I will see you again on the next one.